Hello, mi gente. My name is Kevin, and welcome to KevDoes. This is the most in-depth bikepacking setup video series you will ever see. Now, there are some people who ride their bikes naked. No judgment here. I would not recommend you doing that, however, through 2 weeks on the Great Divide through Colorado and Wyoming. So today I'm going to talk you through all the clothing that I brought while doing my adventure.
All right, first up, starting from the head, going to the toes, the POC Ventral Air Spin helmet. I cannot talk about this helmet enough. It's fantastic. The looks, I think, are great. My favorite thing about the POC helmets is these vertical lines as opposed to like the fan that everyone else has. Oh, I look at that and I want it. Something I don't like about this is you have to like almost size up. So this helmet, at least when I have it in my hand, just feels very big. And I feel like it looks big on my head. People have told me it doesn't, but I had to get, I think, a large, whereas in the Specialized Prevail, I think it's called, I could wear a medium and it fit me perfectly, but I just like the look of this so much more. And that white, the white held up pretty well. I do have to wash these straps. They're a little grungy, but aside from that, this at the back of the head just cinches in and you feel it around your entire head. It's not just in the back. These little spin things are easy to take off and wash, so you're not just putting your face on the same sweat spot every day. And that looks fantastic. I think this is one of the best looking helmets on the market, hands down. All right, moving on down, the Pit Viper Gobby sunglasses. I got these for free, but I still really like the look of them. They worked great on the Divide. They held up great. The only thing is you see the whatever this is just starting to get scratched up, and it's got scratched up pretty bad. Yes, just like that. I have dropped them a couple times on the trail with rocks and everything like that, but I don't know. I would expect glasses to hold up maybe a little bit better than that. However, I really like these, and I'm going to keep using them until I can't see out of them anymore. From the back, you can't really see the scratches. It fits great. Got a lot of compliments on these, and the pink. Ooh, the pink. All right, moving on. Okay, and what you saw around my neck every day was simply a merino wool buff from the brand called Buff. I liked it. I felt like by the end, after washing it a couple times, here you go, here's a good example. It did get a little stringy. So when you would use it as a mask, sometimes you'd get, in talking into it, you'd get the little strings in your mouth, but it held up. I mean, I put it through the ringer for 2 solid weeks, so I had no complaints about that. It's a good product. The jersey that I wore, this bright yellow, green, neon green jersey, it worked well, held up well. It didn't stink, it didn't hold stink, it didn't hold dirt, has pockets in the back. My only complaint with this is it sags too much over my butt. So I wish it was slightly shorter in the back, but super bright. It looks new, and this is really old. This is probably 5 years old, and I've put a lot of miles on this, but I don't know what brand it is or what specific model of Louis Garneau it is. It's just a Louis Garneau jersey. One thing I don't like though is this, when you zip it all the way up, it has some rough thing here that scratches up against my neck. Not a fan. However, the rest of it, I'm great. It's a great jersey. Next up, Bibs. These are the Specialized RBX Comp Bibs. They're good. No real complaints. The only thing is, I can't say no real complaints and then have a complaint, but okay, I do have a complaint. This material scratches up my nipples very much, it chafes it a lot. So because of that, I have to use this undershirt. And after asking around with some friends, it seems like everyone basically uses an undershirt under their bibs. So, okay, this is just one of my wife's shirts. It's really light, but I just needed something to stop it from cutting up my nipples, and this thing has held up great. It's not super long, it's kind of tight, which is what I wanted. So there we go. Maybe one day I'll get one of the fancy against your body things, but until then, this works great. Okay, next up, what you saw on my arms every single day, and I think is a fantastic product, this Outdoor Research Active Ice Sun Sleeve. These things kept me nice and cool in the hot sun. They have these little thumb holes, which are fantastic. You can then put your arms through it. It's almost like wearing gloves, except not. You can see they got a little dirty, but That's after 2 weeks of riding and wearing them every single day. They're great. They don't slide down your arm, so they have these little like rubbery spots that don't hurt your arm, so they're not pulling like the skin off, but somehow they just found the perfect blend of sticking where it is but not hurting you. It's just great. You wet them and then they stayed super cool for a long time. You didn't have to wet them. They also have, I think, a little like ring, there you go, a little finger slot too, so it could stay there and not slide back down your arm. I can't talk about these enough. I think they're really good for the price. Moving on down, I had 2 pairs of socks on the trip. These are just specialized, I think they're like short or mid riding socks. Nothing special, just a black pair and a white pair. Wanted to because then I would wear one, wash it that night, hang it on my bike to dry, and then while I'm riding, and wear the other one the next day. So it was nice because I got to switch socks every single day to always have a fresh pair. And finishing at the bottom, the specialized, I think they're called just the Specialized Sport mountain shoe. It's mountain bike shoes, so it's clipped in, but then you can still walk on them. These were my first ever like clip-in shoe, so I don't know anything else. I would definitely like to get the BOA ones one day, or I'm thinking about possibly just switching to flats and then wearing my Vivos while riding. But these held up great. No complaints at all with these shoes. Okay, speaking of shoes, the other thing that was on my feet as soon as I could were these Zero, I believe they're called the Z Trail Sandals. They're super light. They fold up to nothing. They roll up to nothing. You can stuff them anywhere. I had them hanging off the back of my bike. There was no dangle. There was no sway because of them. You didn't notice them back there. They were super comfortable. It's nice because then you can wear them with or without socks too. There was no toe thing up here. So highly recommend something like this because I think they're like $50 or I have the price right here so you'll see, but great shoe, especially for backpacking or bikepacking. Next up, to keep me warm, these are the Patagonia Capilene midweight bottoms. Just some like long pants that's easy to slip over when it's cold while you're riding or at camp, or when it's full of mosquitoes. It's not too hot, but they keep you nice and warm and just cover something up. If you remember, on I think the second or third day, I lost my pants. So I had these same exact pants, but in gray previously, and they fell out of a pocket while I was riding in a rainstorm. But luckily, Pinedale came to the rescue with these pants, and they had XL and they fit awesome. The other warmth layer is Patagonia Nano Puff jacket. This is just one that I have at home. I feel like it's one of the most versatile jackets. It's warm but not too hot. It has a hood if you want it. The zipper works great. No complaints at all. You can always find this jacket on sale, so it's always a good bang for your buck. They last years. I don't know how long I've had this, but it's been a while and I've put it through a lot of stuff. Still looks like new after you wash it. Highly recommend this jacket. Then I see all the cool cyclists have cycling caps, so I wanted to join that trend. After the first couple days, I hated how it pushed my helmet up. When this was up, it would either push it up. When this was down, I then couldn't see the road. So honestly, I didn't really find a need for this. So I would not bring this again. And I'm sure it worked great. I like Halo because of this band that keeps the sweat out of your eyes. But I didn't feel like I had sweat in my eyes the whole time. Gosh, that little powder got everywhere. So this, I'm gonna end up returning it. Specialized gloves, just like some mountain bike gloves, just as an extra little layer. Then while I was at camp, so once we got done riding, this is just a Patagonia like everyday shirt. It's kind of, not cotton, what is it, Capilene, yep, same thing, that Capilene base layer shirt. Super comfortable, super versatile, it stands up to a lot. I've stained the heck out of it over the years, but it's a great shirt. I've never had it smelly. It dries super quick, packs down really small. Layers, not everything. It's a great shirt. I would highly recommend it for a shirt like this, where you just want something nice and comfortable to slip into and possibly sleep in as well. Then moving on, this is Nike, some Nike dry fit shorts. I don't actually know the term for this, but these have a little mesh on the inside. I really like the mesh because then I didn't have to bring underwear at all on the trip. Like I would change from my bibs into these after I would get cleaned up, and they would call it a day. Yeah, these again, they're super old, but they hold up. Highly recommend. Last but not least, this is some poncho that I picked up in Pinedale because I did not bring a rain jacket. It works okay. It's one of those like you put your head through the hood, but then on the side it's just square and open, so it just flaps everywhere in the wind. It's just a tarp with a hole for your head. But it kept me dry. After I got it, we did go through a couple rainstorms with this. So would I recommend it for $5 and the fact that it folds down pretty small? Sure.
Perfect. Those are my clothes. Now, the only thing I'm looking to add to this setup is a small, like, packable rain jacket. So if you know of a good one that you've had a good experience with, make sure to put that in the comments below because that'll help me out a lot for the next trip. Now, next video, we're going over my entire sleep system. So everything from tent, quilt, pad, pillow, stakes, everything. Now, this is an area that is really easy to geek out on, so I am super pumped because this is like several years and several iterations of sleep systems that all amounted to what I'm about to show you in the next video. So make sure to check that one out, and if you haven't, please subscribe to this channel because there's going to be a lot more content. I'll do a lot more iterations of sleep systems for both tents and hammocks and bikes and whatever other adventure that I can find myself in. And last, as always, thank you so much to my patrons. You guys warm up my heart. Warm up my heart so much by deciding to support me, deciding to support this channel, and deciding to support the journey of getting people beyond I can't in their minds. We're going to go past that in all the adventures that we're going to do because there is no such thing as I can't. All right, stay tuned to the next one.